Hello and welcome to the world of EDC. My name's Jeff and today we're going to be taking my first look at the Civivi McKenna. This knife is very interesting to me because it's my first front flipper, but also because I actually had a reply from Isham on Instagram, and I will screenshot and post what was said about it. But what happened was that I was reading through some of the comments on Instagram about the name McKenna, and McKenna is the last name of Terrence and Dennis McKenna, who are mushroom experts. They've been featured on Joe Rogan's podcast. At least Dennis has, I think, 3 or 4 times, and very interesting. I highly recommend that you guys go check those out if you're interested in any kind of stuff like that with mushrooms and psychedelics and anything else. I've never tried psychedelics personally, but I think it's very interesting. I believe Terrence McKenna, the brother, I believe he passed away now. He wrote a book called, I believe it was his book. I haven't read the book, but it's on one of my wish lists for books to get read. It's called Food of the Gods, and it basically, anyways, that's not anything to do with this knife. But what happened on Instagram was that a guy said McKenna as in mushrooms, and I replied to that gentleman saying, do you really think that that's what it is? And Elijah actually replied, that's exactly where the name McKenna comes from, is from Terrence and Dennis McKenna, mushrooms, blah blah. And so that's how this name came about. So there was no way I was never going to get this knife, because obviously I'm a fan of all of that. And if you guys want me to go in more in depth about all of that stuff, let me know and I'll do a separate video on that. But anyways, let's get into the knife itself. We're 2 minutes in and I haven't even really talked about the knife. It's my first front flipper, and from other people's reviews of this knife, this is a really good entry into front flippers. Not only for the cost, but because it has really good action, and it's just a really good example of front flippers. And I've learned front flipping, as you can see, fairly well. I still miss and I still have bad deployments, but I really enjoy it. This knife came out of box really sharp. The action's great. Deep carry pocket clip. It's a lot smaller than I had initially expected. Get this, this is another isham design from Civivi. This is the Anthropos, and you can see the size difference. When you see it online, when you see this knife online, at least when I didn't expect it to be this small, but you can see, I can make that knife disappear in my hand. And so for me, I think that this is an awesome knife for like a backup EDC, and so that's what I've been using it for. Most of the time, the smaller knife in my EDC is used for smaller tasks, opening packages, popping a zip tie, that kind of thing. And so this knife has done all of the tasks that I've put it to. I've had it for about a week now. And that's typically when I do my first impressions. I want to give it a chance to be used a little bit and how it feels being carried. And because of its size, it carries really well. Deep carry pocket clip, even though it's still about there, is gonna still be sticking out. To me, I don't mind that too much. And also you can see there's not much real estate left to put the deep carry pocket clip any further down, so I don't fault them for that. Blade shape is great. Like I said, it came out of box really sharp. It still is sharp D2 steel, and I'm just really happy with this knife overall. I got it for around $70, and I think that's what they're still going for. I think that what it is really worth it, especially with Elijah being involved. His designs are typically a lot more expensive, and so I think that if you're looking at front flippers as something that like you don't know if you want to get into or not, I highly recommend this one as an entry level. Like I said, this is my first one, and once I gave it a couple of goes, let me see if I can't see, I missed there. once I gave it a couple of goes, I started getting addicting, and now it's like my number one go-to fidgeter. And for nothing else, whether or not you're using it as a knife or whatever else, I think that you'll enjoy the fidget factor with this knife. So with all that being said, make sure you leave a comment down below if you want me to get into a little bit more about the McKennas. I think it's very interesting and awesome that Elijah named this knife after them. It's very, very interesting to me, and I think a lot of other people. And so with all that being said, that's my first impressions of this knife. If you haven't, if you're kind of on the fence about getting one, I highly suggest that you do get one. I don't get paid to say that. It's just my opinion on it. But like I said about this knife when I did my first impressions and reviews on it, I think that it's just an awesome line. And this is the third of 3 that we know of from Civivi and Isham, and I hope that they keep them coming, because they really have. On these 2, I haven't checked out, I think it's called the Pluramus. I haven't checked that one out, but with these 2, awesome knives. And it's just, to me, Civivi is really stepping up the affordable knife market and putting a lot of stiff competition out there for other knife manufacturers. And I think it's great for all of us all the way around, as far as consumers. So with all that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video if you did enjoy, and comment if you want to hear about McKenna, and subscribe if you're new around here. I really do appreciate all of the new subscribers. We're about 130 subscribers now. I appreciate each and every one of you. It really is motivational to keep pumping them out as often as I can, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. With all that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.